So today we're going to do something really cool. We're going to write our very first script. And towards the end, I'm going to do something amazing. If you've never done scripting before, you're going to look at it and say, wow, that's amazing. If you've done scripting before, you're going to say, yeah. Hello world, Mike is learning PowerShell. Thanks for joining me. All right, so today we're going to write our very first script. So what is a script? All a script is a list of things you're telling your computer to do. All right. Step 1, step 2, step 3. It's good to start with pseudocode. Let's bring some pseudocode up on the screen here. So with this script, we are going to get the IP address of a computer. We are going to do a ping on that computer to see if it's available. And then we're going to do a trace route to see how many hops it takes to get to that computer. All right, very simple. Your pseudocode is 3 steps. Well, 4 steps you want to get that information back. So that's what our code is going to be. So let's get started here. I put a few things into ISE, so let's bring that up. Okay, I have a few different versions. We'll go through the other versions briefly. They're a bit much for what we're doing today, but this is the simplest version we'll get started with. So I see that we got a little star there. That means that it's not saved. So let's go ahead and save it. I just added this last part here. Remember, we always want to do a start transcript before we do anything. That way we can keep track of what we do and we can go back later to troubleshoot if necessary. So what is the script? It's a network diagnostic tool that combines 2 powerful commands. There is ping and there's traceroute. And when we run this, we'll get a lot of good information about what's going on with this network computer that we're looking at. It can be any computer on your network or on the internet because we're going to use its IP address. All right. So we are going to do this step by step. First of all, let's go over to, I think it's this one here. All right. So what is ping? All right. Ping is a command line tool. It was written by Mike Moose, I'm guessing. He was an employee of the U.S. Army Research Laboratory. He named it after the sound sonar makes. When sonar is active, it goes ping, and it finds out where stuff is. So the internet has given it the backronym. That means it was already a word, but then it was given the acronym of Package Internet Groper. So all it does is it sends an ICMP packet, an echo request, to see if a computer is there. And let's go into our just PowerShell here, and we'll do a ping 8.8.8.8. What is that? That is Google's DNS server. Okay, so we're going to do ping, and it responds right away. So Google's DNS server is online. Great. Okay. So let's go back to ISE here and go back to our simple one. So first of all, this script is going to ask for a target, all right? And it's going to ask us to enter the IP address or host name to test. Pretty simple. And then it's going to write host. It's going to tell us that it's doing something. Again, we get this backtick n, and that just gives us a new line. And ping test results for target. So we gave a variable right here, and we're giving it an IP address. All right. And so it's going to give us the ping results for target. And then it's going to do the ping, and it's going to show us the results. Then it's going to write host again. Again, it's going to give us a new line right here. It's going to do a trace route to target, and it's going to do a trace route and give us the results of that. Pretty simple. That's all it is. So run script here. And so now down here we see, okay, enter the IP address or host name to test. Again, we'll do, so we have ping results for 8.8.8.8. We get a ping back. Now we're going to do a tracing route to DNS Google. What it's doing here is it's doing a list of all the hops that my packet took to get to DNS Google. So whenever you do a ping or you do a trace route, or even if you just go to any website on the internet, you're not going directly to that website. You're taking a bunch of different hops to different servers across the internet. Right here, we're seeing that DNS.Google took 10 hops to get to, and it went pretty quick. Tells us that the trace is complete. That's pretty much it. It's a very, very simple script. Let's look at it a little bit more complicated here. So again, we're doing a lot of comments in this one. It's doing the exact same thing, but we're just doing a lot of comments so we know what it does. And this is more comments than you need in any of your scripts, but because we're learning, I threw a bunch in here. So it tells us all about what ping is, tells about what all traceroute is, TRACERT, traceroute, whatever. Prompts the user to enter an IP address or host name. That can be either google.com, so we could put in, if we run this again, cool, let us do it. Let's do google.com. Okay, so google.com. It did do a ping up here, and you can see that it gave us the IPv6 address. All right, there's two different types of addresses. There's IPv4, which most places still use, and there's IPv6. All right, we're not going to get into that right now, but IPv6 gives a lot more possible addresses on the internet and in your personal networks, whereas IPv4, actually the addresses have run out. But we got the trace route to google.com. We got up here, we got ping test results for google.com. And then down here, trace complete. Okay, now let's go to the next one. We have comment-based help. What is that? And let's do get help ping. Okay, that is not going to work because ping is not a PowerShell commandlet. It is a Windows application. That's right. Let me show you. So here we are in Windows System 32. And look at that, ping. It's actually an application. It's not a command. It's not a commandlet. It's an application. And again, that application was written by that guy that we saw before, Mr. Moose, Mike Moose, written in 1983. It's just an application that is cross-platform. It can be used on Linux. It can be used on Mac. It can be used on Windows, whatever. But it's an application, not a commandlet or a command. If you came here through the short that I did, I'm going to replay the. I'm just going to do the short right now. Since it's so short, I'm going to just do it right here. So let's get rid of this. Okay. What I am going to do is I am going to create an entire script in less than 30 seconds. Ready? Okay. Let's start the timer. Ready? Here we go. New text document. And super cool, awesome script. .ps1. Timer still going? That's okay, no problem. I'm going to get an error here that says it's okay to change it. Yes. And I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to type ps. And because we just saw that ping closed right away, I'm going to do pause, enter, and that's it. That is all there is to it. That is a script. That is a fully functioning script I just wrote. Doesn't have to be a lot. Yes, scripts can be thousands of lines long and do all kinds of crazy things. But again, going back to what we talked about before, all a script is, it's a list of commands. So let me run this. And here, what you think you might be able to do is just double click on it. But that's not going to work. Look at that. Doesn't work. It just brings us back to that. That's fine. Don't change that on your computer. That is a safety thing that PowerShell has. So what you have to do is you actually have to right click on it and then run with PowerShell. There we go. So we did what the PS is. PS just gives us get process. We've done that before. Gives us all of our processes. And then at the very bottom here, whoops, we lost it. It says press enter to continue. Now, the way we got this is when we put pause. Let's look at it again here so we can actually see what's going on. We got pause here. That causes PowerShell to give us press enter to continue. So as soon as I press enter, our PowerShell window goes away. We can also, let's do this. Oh, we're going to run PowerShell again. And let's go to, where is it? It's on our desktop. So we need to do cd change directory back to the root users. All right, and again, I'm using tab complete. That's always a good thing to use, tab complete. Nope. And desktop. All right, so now we are in our desktop. Let's do an ls to see what's there. And we got two of our super cool, awesome PowerShell script. And I did it a few days ago, so we see that one, but this is the one I just did here. All right, so let's do su, and we want the super cool, awesome script, PS1. Let's go ahead and run that. All right, and there we go. So we did the dot and the backslash, but we didn't have to do that, remember? We just typed in super, hit the tab again because there was actually two of those. And then it ran it for us, and we still have this. Press enter to continue. But now, since we started it in a PowerShell script, it's just going to send us back to a prompt. Let's go back to ISE just again real quick. Simple PowerShell script to run ping and traceroute on IP address or host name. So, got all this information here. Look at this. Now, because we have all this information, this is called comment-based help. All right. You can do this for any one of your scripts or functions that you write. And there's a certain template that you can do. We'll get into this later. We'll do another episode on just comment-based help. Let's do something else though. Let's do get help and get process or get preferred language, whatever comes up, doesn't matter. So whenever we do a get help, we get the name, we get the synopsis, we get the syntax, description, we get all this stuff. All right. We can even do a detailed version. Remember? Detailed. What else can we do? We can also do for online help. We can do online. So let's try that. Online. And that brings us to the Microsoft Learn webpage for get system preferred UI language. All right. Now, we just did that for the script that we made, though. Look at this. We go down here. We made a link. What does that mean? That means we can do this. We can do get help and simple network troubleshooting script. And if we just do this, look at that. It gives us all that information that we have up here. But we can even make it go online to get information online. So let's do this. Online. And if you do your own web page and create a help file or information about your script that you make, or send it to a GitHub page, whatever, or if there's some blog post that you want to link it to, you can do that. You can link it to anything. You can link it to anything. Sorry, I had to do it. Okay. Now we're going to give it something that it might not know what to do with. Rick roll page. So here, ping request could not find Rickroll page. Please check the name and try again. Unable to resolve target system name Rickroll page. So it doesn't know what to do with it. Here, this is no big deal because it's just going to tell us right away, okay, there's a problem. If you're creating another script, you don't want it to run through the entire script if you're giving it bad information to start. So what you want to do is you want to create input validation. Another thing that can go wrong when you're doing this, you can misinterpret the traceroute results. Now, just because you might end up getting timeouts in traceroute results. That is not necessarily a bad thing. So thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Hope you learned something. After this, go ahead and, well, first, watch all my other videos. That'd be great. But next time you're in PowerShell doing stuff, take this little script that we wrote, add a little something to it. Maybe change ping into TEST-NETCONNECTION. You can do that too. It gives you a little bit different information. 8.8.8.8. And we see right here, it's giving us something. It is doing the ping ICMP test, waiting for echo reply. And there, we have a test net connection. Very similar to Ping, not exactly the same, but it's something else you can do. Try integrating that into that script as well and try running that. Again, thanks for stopping in today. Hope you got something out of it. I'm Michael, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.